But our team coverage begins tonight with WCCO's Jennifer Mayerle, who's been following tonight's protest in Minneapolis. Jen?
Hi, we are live on Interstate 94, where we have been for the last few hours. We were with protesters as they marched here onto the interstate, and a couple hours ago, police surrounded everyone. We have been surrounded by police for the last few hours, and things really changed in the last 10 minutes. You can see these officers right here. Just in the last 10 minutes, they moved over the barrier and to our side of the interstate, and we feel like things are closing in a little bit more. Also, I want to show you this line of police over here. This is the line of police, State Patrol officers that have been holding this line for the last few hours, making sure that nobody goes out. Just in the last couple minutes, they have started grabbing more people who are sitting on the ground, coming to arrest them. We are told everyone here tonight will be arrested, and the folks that have been sitting down here on the ground know that they're saying, hey, I'm ready. So that is what is happening right now. We fully expect that everyone here will be arrested and cited. Now let's talk about what got us to this point. We began this afternoon at a protest and rally at the Hennepin County Government Center. That is where a group met and had planned to meet even before the election to talk about having democracy. Today they told me they wanted a fair election. Those are some of the issues they were talking about, as well as some social justice issues. That group marched from the Hennepin County Government Center to the Cedar Riverside neighborhood to link up with another group that was having a rally at 6 o'clock. Now those two groups then started marching. They marched down Cedar and they continued on to when we got to I-94. So take a look at the video of protesters marching on I-94. This is something that we have seen before when people want to make sure that they have their voices heard. People were marching, protesting, chanting on I-94 when all of a sudden everything stopped, things were halted, and we were surrounded by police, being told to disperse, and then soon after being told that arrests would be made. We talked with one of the organizers about why they wanted to be out here tonight.
The original march was set up for was just for whoever would win the race, really. But to say that we still need change, that people are still suffering, we need to undo what the Trump administration has done in terms of damaging and causing harm to so many people. But we also know that the Democrats have not been doing their part as well.
All right, so that is one of the organizers, and they said they just wanted their voices heard. They wanted their message out there. Now you can see this whole group of people here behind me. They are part of that group that was at the rally that ended up marching here onto I-94. Still here tonight, waiting to see how the rest of this night will unfold. But I can show you this line of officers has been here throughout the last few hours. They've been holding this line, and now the sideline is kind of moving in on us. We are told that everyone here will be arrested and cited. Again, we fully expect that to happen. Some of that is happening now just beyond us. Unclear at this hour if people will be transported to jail or arrested here and then released. Back to you.
Jeff Wagner is out there where a group of protesters march onto I-94 just east of downtown Minneapolis. About 7:45 tonight, right, Jeff, and temporarily shut down the freeway there?
Yeah, it's almost hard to keep track of how long we've actually been out here. You're getting a live look now. As Jennifer mentioned, Minneapolis police have gone over the median that's behind us, trying to enclose us in a smaller circle. And it's getting tighter and tighter as the arrests are being made. And something just a few minutes ago we want to point out, up over this fence line, back over here was a line of police officers overlooking the protesters. But behind those officers on the fence line was a large group of protesters as well, or maybe just a large crowd that had gathered. We suddenly saw the officers turn around with their bicycles, push the group back. We then saw pepper spray being used. We then saw the officers on horseback come in, even trying to enter this apartment. I'm not sure what was happening with that crowd behind the officers, but they did do something to make the people over there disperse. Again, we've been on this highway for several hours now, but this all started around 6 o'clock in the Cedar Riverside neighborhood. A protest that was organized by 33 different organizations, I'm told, one that was being mirrored all across the country. Of course, the election was a big part of it. The organizers telling us it's possible they would be chanting, "Don't let Trump steal the election," but also if Biden wins, we still don't get the freedom we demand. So people still wanting to protest those issues that have been plaguing this area or these people for months now, whether that be police brutality. They also brought up something they called a triple pandemic, that being COVID-19, the recession that it caused and how it's disproportionately affected people of color, and then, of course, racism, which they say is at the heart of the Trump administration. So then they began marching, and it felt no different than those marches we've seen all summer, concerns about police brutality, saying George Floyd's name. And we had heard it was possible they would enter the highway because that happened 4 years ago, the day after the election, and it did happen again. We entered I-94. By the time we made it to the second exit ramp, or the nearest exit ramp, which is what we were told is when we would be getting off, police already had us surrounded. And then next thing you know, we're on here for several hours watching people slowly but surely get arrested one by one, to the point where there's still a large crowd here. Of course, people telling us, you know, when we go back and think about the election and how this all began, they're saying it doesn't matter who won this election. They were going to make sure to get their message out tonight.
Either way it goes, we're going to be in the streets fighting. We know that both parties aren't good parties for the people. We're tired, we're fed up, and we want change, and drastic change.
So again, more arrests are incoming. I overheard just a minute ago one of the organizers of the protest saying, continue to remain peaceful. Don't let anyone say we were not peaceful today, even as you are arrested, and we might even be awaiting our turn to be detained along with this crowd of people tonight.